get a workout scheduled at the Falcons facility for Saturday at 3 p.m. There were some differences between Kaepernick's camp and the NFL who set up the network. Some differences that were involved, not limited to media availability, who's going to film the workout, and a waiver that they wanted Kaepernick to sign to participate in the workout. The two sides could not come to any agreement about it. So what ended up happening is Kaepernick had his own workout approximately 60 miles away on Saturday afternoon, filmed it, streamed it, and then briefly spoke to the media afterwards. Jalen, there's been a lot of discussion about this. I know you've been involved with it heavily. What do you think about how everything went down on Saturday?
So it's a lot to unpack, so I'm going to take the Kaepernick angle first.
Okay.
I have no problems with his attire, his Kunta Kinte t-shirt. I have no problem with him changing the workout location. The ultimate goal was to have something take place that hadn't taken place in 3 years. That's for him to have an opportunity to work out in front of NFL personnel.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, whether 24 teams are there at the Falcons facility, whether 8 teams are at the high school where he ultimately worked out, ultimately it only takes one to sign him. That's the most important thing we can't lose sight of. And whether he worked out well or not, whether the footage was going to be legitimate or not, whether he had a good or bad day, we all know he's not in the league because of football. We all know that he's not in the league because of how he plays football.
Yep.
He's not in the league because he chose to do a peaceful protest and take a knee about racial injustices that happen throughout the United States of America. And he used his voice at his job to do so, and that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. So I was, however, happy that he got a chance to talk in front of cameras, because over the last couple of years, while there's been a lot of discussion about him,
That's a good point.
in a sports context, it was great for me to see him speak, and I appreciated his passion. It seemed like he was almost going to be brought to tears with emotion if you hear him talk about the level of passion and how he's available for teams, he's available for interviews, he's just looking for an opportunity. And I appreciate that. But here's a different angle. Let me take the NFL angle. I also can't be mad at them for trying to give him an opportunity. Whether it was 3 days, 3 hours, 3 months, 3 years, they gave him an opportunity. Personnel was going to be there. Now, granted, it wasn't a perfect storm.
No.
It didn't happen on a Tuesday. Media may or may not have been available. It did happen on a Saturday where coaches and GMs were not going to be available. But to me, it was a journey starts with a single step. And I know when you've been discriminated against the way he has, there's going to be a level of trust that you're just not going to have. But also, there was a settlement that took place between those two entities.
Mm-hmm.
Not only to squash what they had going, but I'm pretty sure fiscally some money changed hands.
Absolutely.
So now when that happens, you hope that the two sides can come fair and equitable to agree on whether he should sign a waiver or not, whether the media should be there or not, what day it should happen on. And for them not to be able to agree, it's like a relationship. But the end goal to me wasn't perfect, but it still happened because NFL personnel was still there and present. Now, lastly, let me get to the Jay-Z and Rock Nation part of this. They don't deserve any slander because over 3 years, he was not working out in front of NFL personnel. The last time I paid attention, over the last 90 days, they helped bridge the opportunity for this to actually take place. And it did take place where he was throwing footballs to receivers, cameras were there, he got a chance to speak, NFL personnel was there. It was not a perfect storm, but that is something I want to make sure that I acknowledge and give them credit for helping them make that happen for Colin, because they don't get anything in return from it. They're just trying to help him and the NFL arrange a situation that completely has been a divorce of the two sides.
So I think a lot of this really gets down to the waiver that he was asked to sign. Now, I didn't read the entire waiver, and I'm not a lawyer, but there was some reports that it was not a standard waiver that they give to all the other workouts, and there was some language in there that was saying basically our collusion case has been settled. There can be no further legal action after this workout. And to me, that's what it really boils down to is his lawyers didn't want him to sign the waiver. The NFL didn't want to move off the waiver. And my question for you is there a role for Rock Nation and Jay-Z to sort of mediate between the two sides?
I think the mediation happened for him to be on the field throwing football with 8 teams present. That took place. For him to be in front of microphones to be able to continue to disseminate his word to the public. That did take place. And opportunity is what you want to give him. And it was not a perfect storm in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But I did appreciate him having an opportunity because let's get back to the fact. We all know the workout, in my eyes, is irrelevant overall because that ain't the reason why he ain't in the league. There's 90 people being paid to play quarterback.
People didn't forget he could play quarterback.
But I got to also say this. The idea that he does not want to play football is absurd for people to say. You know who didn't want to play football? Jay Cutler.
Andrew Luck.
Jay Cutler didn't want to play football.
Yeah.
And they got him off of television, paid him $10 million to do so. So the opportunities have been very hard to come by for Colin. And also, there are some teams that are willing to take a chance on Colin Kaepernick.
I guess that's to put a bow on this. What do you think happens now? Do you think that he will sign to an NFL roster?
I hope so. I don't think that how it went down got him closer to the goal, but unlike a lot of people, I don't think it got him further away from it. Because now, to me, this set a template. So now when there's owners' meetings, he could go stage another workout, just like he did. Now, the opportunity of him being seen by a couple of teams that off wax have shown interest. The Falcons, the Dolphins, but in a context, they didn't want to be isolated by bringing him in for a workout.
No, because then it becomes about them. Yeah, it becomes about them.
And then it becomes about them, and then they get attacked by people who don't like the fact that they did so.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.